Hello, my name is Ellie and this is Planning and Finances. Today's video is going to be all about paying down your debts, how to reduce your debts in the most efficient way possible, as in time-wise and money-wise. If that isn't something that is of interest to you, please stay tuned. Before we get started, I would like to make a quick disclaimer. I am not a qualified professional. I am not a financial advisor. These views and opinions are my own. I would just like to make you aware of some options that could be available to you that could help you. I do not know your personal circumstances. I do not know the details involved in your debts, so I cannot give you financial advice for your situation. But what I can do is make you available of some options out there that you could consider that you are not aware of. So to get started, the one thing that I am going to talk about is your mindset. And don't be thinking this whole video is going to be around, getting your mindset right and getting focused and everything else. It's not. I do have some practical tips for you. But the first part of paying down your debt and getting sorted and is getting your mindset right. There is no way around that. You can be motivated today, looking at this video, hearing me going, yeah, I'm going to do that. She's got some great points there. I can do this. But you need to back it up with discipline. And that's what it's going to take. It's going to take the mindset and the discipline. The debts that you have could take 6 months to pay off, or they could take up to 3 years to pay off, depending on how much you owe and depending on how focused you are going to be on paying down this debt. So I'm going to ask you this one question right now. How serious are you about paying down your debt? Because if you are, you will be able to tell by the next steps that I'm going to ask you to do. So what I'm going to ask you to do is to take your cards out of your wallet. Take your credit cards out of your wallet and put them away. Like, I've heard of some people putting them in like a bowl of water in the freezer so that they literally can't touch it. But if they really, really need it, they would have it there. Also, I would ask you to remove your credit card details from things like your Google Pay, your Apple Pay, your Revolut, anything that you have like a digital wallet. Then I would ask you to go onto your laptop and to remove the cards that are stored on any website that tempts you to shop, like Amazon, store cards like they were little ones, weren't they? I'm not sure of other store cards, but other places where you would have your cards stored that you would shop on a maybe frequent basis. We are drawing the line right here, right now. We are not adding any more money to these cards. We are not adding any more money onto our debts. From now on, we are reducing that balance. It's not going up, it's going down. So that's it. So that's number one. We are going to stop adding to our debts. We are going to start looking at our spending, and we're going to look at it in a sense of unnecessary spending and necessary spending. We are going to remove all temptation. We're going to try and make it a little bit easier for us, and we're going to remove the temptation of having the easy swipe and the easy credit to hand. The next step that you're going to do is, if you have a credit card that say has a balance of, it has a credit limit of 5,000 on it, and you've got a balance of 3,000, so there's 2,000 still available. What I would like you to do, or suggest that you would do, is to send an email or ring the company and ask them to reduce your limit to 3,000. So this is going to help, once again, take that temptation away of having that other 2k credit available to you. You're going to remove it. You're going to make it hard for you to get your hands on credit. And you might be thinking, but what if there's an emergency? What if I really need that money? And I get that. So what we're going to look at now is building up an emergency fund. So we're going to try build it up as quickly as you can, sell stuff, do some side hustles, build up a bit of an emergency fund, 500 if you can, ideally €1,000, and this is what you'll have as your cushion for an emergency if you need it. So if your washing machine breaks down or if you need some car repairs, you will have money aside for that. The next step that we want to look at is how can we reduce how much interest we're going to spend on this credit card, because I know they can be a lot. My credit card was 7,000. I can't even believe that saying that now. I have no idea how it got up to that, but my credit card was 7,000. And I paid €70 I was thinking €70 interest a month. I can't even remember the interest rate. And in all honesty, I probably never even knew. I probably never looked. But I paid €70 a month interest. So I used to pay 200 off my credit card a month. I used to pay €50 a week. But €70 went back on it at the end of the month. And it just felt soul destroying. It felt the numbers were coming down, but they were constantly going back up. So how do we do this? There is products available on the market that have a 0% balance transfer on a credit card. So what you can do is you can take your balance on your card and transfer onto another card. Then that other card will have a 0% balance. So rather than you pay this money off every month and the interest go back on it, there'll be no interest. Now usually it's for a period of time. So it could be for 6 months, 12 months, if you're lucky, 18 months, which would be absolutely amazing. But it gives you a chance to pay down this debt without paying interest. So I have two slides here which will give you an example of how this can benefit you. So you can see here in slide number 1, I'm using the example, there's a 3K credit card with 22% interest rate on it at the moment, and you're paying off €250 a month. So as you can see, in interest, down the bottom, you are going to pay €420 in interest over the period of time to clear this credit card. And you'll see it's €55 a month. We're paying off this €55 a month in interest. It's adding up. And it's going to take you to July 2024 to clear this credit card. And this is if you don't add anything to it. So on these credit cards, what you have to remember is balance transfers are 0%. But if you spend any money on them, you will pay interest on those shops, on those spends. So now what I'm going to show you is, here is what you will pay if you transfer over your credit card to one of these 0% options. So your balance is 3,000, your rate is 0%, you pay €250 a month, there is no interest, and you will be finished in May 2024. So in 1 year, your credit card will be cleared and you would have paid 0% interest. How amazing is that? Like, don't you feel now that that is like doable? Because I find it's so disheartening when you're trying to clear a credit card and number one, you have to use it because you're having an emergency and you use it and you have to get something that's €300 and your balance is back up. You know, or you pay your monthly payments and the interest goes back on it and it goes back up, and it just feels like a struggle, and you look at it and go, it's useless, I'm just destined to have a credit card, you know, a balance on a credit card, I can't get out of this cycle. You can. With this option, you can change your credit card to this 0% option, and you can save up an emergency funds to prevent you from using your card again. You will have that as your emergency fund, as your buffer. So then you can just concentrate on getting rid of this credit card. So with this option though, one thing I will say is you must close your original credit card that you had when you transferred the balance. If you keep your other credit card open, there is the option there that you could be tempted to use it again. So it was something that I would definitely suggest. I'm not sure if you have to close your credit card. Sometimes it can be a stipulation on the contract. I'm not sure. But if it's not, it's something that I definitely suggest you do. Also, what happens if you get to the end of the 12 months of your interest-free period and you still have a balance on your card? What they will do is they will then start applying the interest rate that's applicable to that card. So the idea is to reduce the balance as much as you can and as quickly as you can to save you paying interest. Now there could be an option after that to switch to another card to get interest free again. That is an option to you as well. But ideally you're going to hopefully pay it off within the year. That's the target. The next thing we're going to look at is a thing called consolidating your loans. Now some people have a positive view on these and some people have a negative view of these, and I can see the reasons why. So what consolidating your loans is, this is for people that would have a lot of loans and most likely some very high interest rate loans. So for people that could have a few credit cards and the interest rates obviously on those credit cards are high. So what I've done is I've done a little example, so when I'm explaining this it will make it easier for you. Okay, so here we have an option on the screen. So you have two credit cards, one for 5,000, one for 3,000, a personal loan for 25,000 and a store card for €900. So credit cards and store cards tend to have very high interest rates. So here we have 22%, 18% and a store card of 24%. And then you have the personal loan, which is at 9%, which is probably average for loan rates out there at the moment. So by looking at this, you can see the monthly payment for these cards and these loans is €830. Here you can see that's €830 balance that's going to come out of your wages every month. So if we move on down, you can see the total interest paid here is €8,270 over the course of the loans, and the loans would hopefully be cleared in August 2027. That would be the debt-free date. What you can do with a loan consolidation is you can approach a lending provider like a bank or a credit union, and you could ask them, could you consolidate all your loans into one, and then you would hopefully avail of a lower interest rate. So I'm going to show you what that would look like. So here on the screen now, you can see we've consolidated the loans into one lump here. So those loans totaled €33,900. And we're going to use the interest rate of 9% because I think this could be a percentage rate that you could achieve. And we'll leave the payment at €830 a month. So if you come down the end, you can now see that you will pay €6,730 on interest, which is a big difference. And you would be debt free by June 2027. So the period of time is not reduced too much, but how much interest you're going to pay is reduced a lot. One thing you can look at this and also realize is you can still pay extra to this. So I know 830 is a lot a month to be paying towards debt, but if you have extra money at the end of the month, you can always make an extra payment to your debt and you can reduce it and pay this loan off sooner, which will also mean that you will pay less interest. The other side of this that I'm going to look at is 830 is a lot of money to be paying out a month. And right now you could be really struggling to meet these minimum payments and also pay your bills, like pay your mortgage, pay for your electricity, pay for your food, and you could be really feeling the pinch and these debts are getting to you. It's just too much. So also with loan consolidation, you could have the option of reducing how much you pay a month and spreading it out over a longer period of time. So I'm going to show you a sample here of that option. So here you can see we have the consolidation, We have it at 9%, but we are paying 650 a month rather than the 830 euro. So you're going to save yourself 180 euro a month of what you would pay out on debts each month, which is a big chunk, which could definitely relieve a little bit of that stress off you each month to pay your bills. The only thing is the term will be longer. So you can see there is more interest to be paid on it. So your interest now would be 9,260 euro, and your debt-free date would move up also by a year and a half, I think, to December 2028. Now, if you were struggling, this could be an option for you. And what you could do is you could do the consolidation. You could pay the 650 euro when you are struggling. And when things become that you're in a better situation, you can then throw more money off your loan. And like that, try to pay it down quicker. And by doing this, you will reduce the amount of interest paying. This is not something I would want somebody to do because they're going to pay more interest. And my whole ethos is pay as little interest as possible to the bank. But I also understand the side of it that this could be a very viable option for somebody who is struggling. So this is why I am making you aware of it today. Okay, so this is a lot to think about. And if you need to look over the figures again, I'm going to put the 3 pictures up here on the screen now, and you can pause it and you can look at the individual screens so you can get an idea around your head of what debt consolidation is, and is it something that you might consider doing. For me, it would be probably the last option. I would look at trying to aggressively pay down my debts first if I could. Okay, so before looking at these options as well, the first thing I would do would be to look at a financial plan and laying out all my debts, how much I owe, the minimum payments and the interest rate, so you can have a clear picture of where you are. And if you're not sure how to do that, I'll leave a link here to the eye in the sky somewhere of a video that shows you how to do that. And it's actually by using this calculator that you have seen me using today. You can plug in your own information and it can show you how little changes that you make to how much you pay off, to what loans you pay off first and second, how much you can save on interest. The one thing I'll say is though, make that plan and stay focused on it. Another little tip that I give you is if you have the option on your card to do, rounding change, this is a great thing to make things called snowflake payments. So any small amount of payment that you can make off a card really, really helps. So if you sell something on adverts or something, or Facebook Marketplace for €5, put that €5 towards your debt. You might think, €5 is nothing. You'll put it in your purse, you'll spend it on random stuff. That €5 is going to reduce your interest rate by a small amount, and it's also going to help you clear your debts a lot quicker. So I want you to think of that every little bit counts when it comes to paying off your debt. Don't think of anything as insignificant, Stay focused, have your budget, have your financial plan, and just keep an eye on things. Be more aware of where your money is, and this is going to serve you so much. If you found the tips in this video useful, if you came across something that you weren't aware of, please hit that subscribe button and hit the thumbs up. There will be more videos coming soon. Thank you so much for watching to the end, and I hope to see you next time. Take care. Bye.